Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is a live stream of Healthy Mind and Body, so please remember that you can ask us questions at any time. As you know by now, I'm Elizabeth Beetham, and this is Dominic Beirne.
Hi.
So with tonight, our topic is we're talking about how to stay sane in these difficult times of being locked down. In the area that Dominic and I are in, we are in level 4, and I think most of the country is in level 4, and it is pretty tricky, really. So what can we do to make ourselves feel better? And one of the things I was thinking about today was actually getting dressed up. I was really looking forward to tonight to sort of put my makeup on, do my hair, find something nice to wear so I look nice for you. And actually what I realised was it isn't just about being nice on camera this evening, but it made me feel better just getting myself dressed up. So that's the first tip for tonight, is why not in the evenings get yourselves changed? I think in the last 50 years or so, women are often got changed in the often in the afternoon and had afternoon tea. So there's lots of things that we can do to help cheer ourselves up and keep ourselves going in these difficult times. One of the dangers, and this has happened to lots of people, lots of my clients actually, during lockdown, is this danger of overeating. And not just overeating, but overeating the wrong foods. Those sweet foods that we find such a comfort are not health foods. And if we're not careful and we're not exercising enough, those sweet sugary snacks that we're filling ourselves with are really going to have a bad effect on our health, because it's going to put weight on, particularly around the middle, because that's what happens when we eat a lot of processed sugar. So what can we do to avoid doing that? Well, one of the things, and you probably won't like me saying this, is stop buying them. And as I'm telling you this, I'm actually telling myself, because I sort of recently had this passion for chocolate ginger biscuits. So on my grocery order this week, they are going to be eliminated, because as you're probably all aware, on Thursday the 14th, we start our new weight management program. And we're very excited about that. But I do feel in all sincerity that I can't expect people to do things that I won't do myself. Yeah. You'll be pleased to know that I have managed to have a dry January so far. And I know Dominic's quite impressed with me about that. And we're going to talk about the problems of alcohol, too much alcohol. But I do want you to think about what you're doing to your body when you're having too much processed sugar. It's very bad, because it shoots your blood sugar up, and then your pancreas has to work very hard to make insulin to balance your blood sugar again. And that's, if you keep spiking your blood sugar during the day, that creates inflammation in the body. Inflammation is responsible for all diseases. Cancer, all sorts of diseases come from our body being inflamed inside. And one of the major culprits, it's sad to say, is refined processed sugar. So please consider that, as I'm going to be doing for the next few weeks as we work with our volunteers on our new weight management program. Yeah. So what have you got to talk to us about tonight, Dominic?
Well, as you said, we're back in another severe lockdown, where even though some are saying it's not as tough as last time, I think it is just as tough as last time. And the police are going to be more enforcing the law on people who break it, and rightly so. So the thing I want to talk about tonight, we said earlier, Elizabeth, is about how to keep sane
throughout
this lockdown. Because I know the first time it really did have a profound effect on a lot of people's mental health. And we want to try and avoid that this time. And so we're going to share some tips with you on how to possibly do this. And one of the things I spoke about last week is remember that there is light at the end of this tunnel. Okay. And now we've got the vaccine, and it's been rolled out. Over 2.3 million people in the UK now had the vaccine. Okay. And so it's been rolled out quicker than any other country in the world at present. So, there is light at the end of the tunnel here. So you've got to keep reminding yourself of that, especially when things feel like they're getting tough and you're getting down and you're not seeing your loved ones, not being able to go out and socialize. Remember, this is not going to last forever. Okay, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You've got to keep reminding yourself that. There are a few other things that I want to talk about as well, but that is one of the key things here. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and you need to keep reminding yourself of that. So that's one of the things that, I did speak about that last week, but that is the key thing here. There is light at the end of the tunnel. We will get through this together, okay? And it's not going to last forever.
I think taking one day at a time as well. Try not to think too far ahead. I think one of the difficulties with lockdown and what's happened to us this last year is that we haven't been able to plan things. And I, for one, love to have a holiday or a weekend away or plan a party. I'm quite a party animal, and I love to entertain at home. And I found that really hard. So I think to be mindful of each moment of each day and focus on the positives in your life is really important. As Dominic said, we have got light at the end of the tunnel, but we have got to manage this as we go along. And I think don't try and think further than one day ahead. We just got to get on with it one day at a time. And we can do this. And there are so many resources out there. And Dominic talked about social contact. We have all this wonderful technology. I use Zoom now quite a lot to talk to my friends, because it's not the same as actually seeing them and giving them a hug, but at least we can have a chat and see each other and even have a cup of tea together. Tomorrow afternoon I'm running tea and positivity. That's becoming quite popular, and we just have a little discussion, and it's a sociable thing. I actually went to I sort of was in a church service on Sunday. First time I've done that in lockdown, and that was really nice, because at the end of the service I was able to talk to one or two people in the who were also on. It was a Zoom service, and that was really nice. And I met some new people. Made a really lovely morning for me on Sunday. So there are things we can do. There are lots of resources out there. Don't you agree, Dominic?
Absolutely, yeah. And one of the good things at the moment is the places of worship are not closed like the first lockdown. So, those who are more the religious persuasion, it's good to, to go to your place, whatever that may be, for worship, because it did get you out. And they are following all the COVID rules, and within there, you have to wear masks, you have to be separated from with at least 2 meters from everybody. But it's a good way of getting out and actually meeting people while we're still allowed to do so. So that's a very good point. But going back to what you were saying earlier about taking one day at a time, that's absolutely correct, right? However, and there's a however here, as I feel about the light at the end of the tunnel, you were talking about earlier, Elizabeth, about how you're you like to entertain and have people around for the house, something you very much enjoy doing, and I know that. One of the things that focus on that outcome, that eventually, when you think about the light at the end of the tunnel, think about the things you'll be able to do.
Yeah.
You'll be able to do it with, and make that picture in your mind big and bright, and see yourself in the picture there, enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
In other words, focus on the positive, not the negative. Okay.
Yeah.
Because as I said, and I'm going to keep saying this, the light at the end of the tunnel, you've got to keep reminding yourself that we're on the way out of this now, and for the next few weeks, maybe a month or two, it's going to be tough for all of us.
Yeah.
But we're going to get through it. So
Yes.
focus on the things that you will be able to do once we're out of it. Make that picture in your mind big, make it bright, put a soundtrack in it,
I think there's going to be some amazing parties.
Yeah,
some
whatever it is that you're looking forward to. It hasn't got to be a party, it can be whatever it is that you are unable to do at the moment because of the COVID situation and lockdown. Focus on you doing that thing that you're looking forward to do, and make that really big and bright, and that will keep that positive state, or certainly help that positive state remain within you. Focus on what you do want, not what you don't.
Yeah, that's a good one, Dominic, definitely.
Yeah.
The other thing I was talking about, there's so many resources out there. So YouTube now, as you can see from this evening, there's masses of information and things you can watch on YouTube. It's a wonderful resource. But also I was doing a bit of research myself today, and there's a website called Open Culture, and they're offering 1,500 free courses. So why not take the opportunity? I think we mentioned this last week, of doing one of these courses. Just Google them. It's called Open Culture. And the other thing I found that was really looked amazing, and I'm going to investigate more when I've got a bit of time later in the week. It's www.theatreonline.com. And there's masses of things you can watch and see, ranging from, sort of serious Shakespeare right through to comedy programs. So there are things out there that, what's your interest? And now you've got time, why not think about what really gives you a buzz and do a bit of research yourself and find something that's going to really inspire you to do something different. Because it's good to challenge ourselves. We all get stuck in a rut sometimes. So it's good to try new things. It makes life more interesting. It makes us more interesting because it gives us more conversation. So I'd really encourage you to do a bit of research on the internet and see what sort of floats your boat, what you would, what excites you and what you'd like to get involved in.
Absolutely. Utilize the time because, as I said, this is going to be over eventually. And then there's going to be a point where we're back in the typical rat race again, and where we're going to never have any time for ourselves. And you're going to be looking back, possibly kicking yourself, saying, why didn't I make more use of the lockdown and study this or look at this or watch this, whatever it may be. So, yeah, great point. We talked about it last week, utilize the internet, utilize the time now to get on the net and learn something that you're interested in, or just study it. You might not ever do anything with it, but you can continue to expand your knowledge. And knowledge, as we all know, is priceless. So utilize that. And the other thing, going back to what I was talking about a moment about creating the picture in your mind, the outcome of see how you want to be at the end of this, the thing that you'll be able to do again, is that pay attention to your inner voice.
Oh yes, good.
Because your inner voice can make you or break you. And I say that seriously, your inner voice, and we all talk to ourselves.
We do.
Hear some of the conversation I have in my head.
Sometimes out loud.
But if you're going to have a conversation with yourself in your head, make it a good conversation. Make it positive words. Make it a good tonality. Positive. Talk to yourself as you would like a good friend to talk to you, or a loved one, or a close member of your family. You know, it's your voice in your head. Be kind to yourself. We keep talking about this. So make that voice in your head a positive one, a cheerful one, and make that tonality something that will energize you. Okay.
That's a great point, Dominic. You know, because we all beat ourselves up, and one of the things I suggest to my clients is sort of sometimes we have this dialogue going on, and we don't really listen in to what we're saying to ourselves. So perhaps tomorrow, spend a little bit of time listening to what you say. One of the things that I used to say to myself on a regular basis is that, oh, you are stupid. And, you know, that is not a healthy thing to say to yourself. Yeah. And I can remember I did a talk at a WI a couple of years ago now. And this woman came up to me after the talk, and and because the other thing I used to say is, you're useless. And she came up to me at the end of the talk and she said, oh, Elizabeth, I used to write for the Courier, had my own column called Health Watch. And she said, oh, you know the editor, don't you, of the Courier? You know, could you give me a sort of his details and what have you? I said, oh, I'm really sorry. I said, I don't, because I deal with the assistant editor. She said, oh, you're useless. And it was just as if she'd hit me in the solar plexus, because it was one of those internal conversations I'd said to myself, but I was ready for her. And I said, no, I don't think I'm useless. I said, I've just given a talk and most people, I think, really enjoyed it. So I'm not useless.
Yeah, exactly.
It was because I'd learned to stop that internal dialogue that was not serving me. And as Dominic's just said, it's really important to be aware and change it as quickly.
What you did there was you changed the critical parent, they would call it in TA, to the nurturing parent.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's it. You've got to nurture ourselves and make that voice nurture you. Because trust me, your voice, your inner voice, can make you or break you.
Yes.
And it's your voice at the end of the day. So change it into a positive one that makes you feel good, not bad.
And we do have choices every day. We can choose. Yeah. And we can choose to be kind to ourselves and make sure that our internal dialogue is serving us and making us feel good about ourselves. Or we can decide that everything's so dreadful and we're going to be miserable. I do believe that. So when you get up in the morning, think of those, you know, we talked about having a gratitude diary, how very good that is to think of at least 3 things that you're really grateful for. That in itself helps you lift your spirit.
Yeah. And you're going back to earlier at the beginning, Elizabeth, you were talking about a diet and that, and it's, you know, if you can, and you can, cut out the junk food, you know, cut down your intake of alcohol. There's nothing wrong in having a drink, and there's nothing wrong in eating the occasional chocolate bar. But it's about keeping it in moderation, okay? Because too much junk food, too much alcohol have a domino effect on our mental health, or can do, okay? So it, you know, what you're eating, look, you know, and what you're drinking, and the amount that you're drinking. Yeah. It's so easy to get caught up in drinking a lot more, eating a lot more when we're at home doing nothing. Yeah. So the other thing is to keep your mind busy. You know, and I think I spoke about this last week, is make a list of things that you're going to do each day.
Yeah.
It's a task that you're going to do.
And have a routine, I think.
And have a time frame of how long you're going to spend on each task. So you're keeping your mind occupied. When your mind's occupied, you're not thinking about food. Yeah. You're not thinking about alcohol. you know. So, you know, be aware of that.
I'm trying not to think about alcohol, Dominic. I'm trying not to think about alcohol.
Trying means that you are. Sounds like I'm going to be free of thinking of alcohol. Okay.
So I wanted to make the point about alcohol because it is so easy when we are at home a lot to just feel a bit fed up and think, oh, I'll have a glass of wine, it'll make me feel better. What I need you to know from a nutritional point of view, that alcohol is a poison to the liver. It takes the average adult at least an hour to assimilate alcohol into the body, and it's full of calories. But also it's a slippery slope if you start drinking early in the day. The chief medical officer says to lower the risk of disease, then we need to be having no more than 14 units of alcohol a week. And what's really scary when we're at home is that we often have quite large glasses. I meant to get one out actually to show you mine. They're sort of goblets. And 250 milliliter is actually anything between of wine is actually between 3 and 4 units of alcohol. So you can see, and it's a third, 250 milliliters is a third of a bottle of wine. And there is a danger at home of us just keep topping our glasses up, not really realizing the amount we're drinking. One of the things I'd really highly recommend is to keep below your 14 units a week, is to have some alcohol-free days. You do feel better for it. And I have to say, what's the date today? The 12th. So I've had 12 days without alcohol. And I must say, I do feel, I went for a run this morning and I do feel clear. My brain feels clearer. I hope I sound clearer. No comment, Dominic, about waffling. Yeah. So try and keep below your 14 units. Be very aware. Spirit, it's only 25 milliliter is a unit of spirit is 1 unit at 25 milliliters. So that's really quite a small amount. So, if you're just pouring it into a glass at home, so easy to go way above that. So be conscious of that for your health.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that will make a big difference to your health and also your weight gain. Yeah. Because it's when we drink lots of alcohol, there's so many calories in alcohol, it's so easy to put on lots of weight. And again, because it's sugar, it goes around the waist.
Yeah, there's an average of 750 calories in a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
700, for a lot of people, that's half their intake of allowance a day. Mm-hmm. So you drink a bottle of wine every night, that's half your intake of calories you're allowed a day. So it's just something to be aware of. You know, we're not dictating to you. We're doing that. Everything in moderation. That's the key word. Moderation.
Don't get me wrong. I can't wait for the end of January because I love a glass of champagne. One of my friends a few years ago.
You tell us that every week you like a glass.
Yeah, well, I do.
Okay. I think everyone knows Elizabeth speaking like champagne. Okay, so, all right. So I like my red wine or my beer, and that's it. Okay, guess it.
I like red wine as well, Dominic.
The other thing is, and I know we talked about this last week, but I'm going to mention it again because it's so important, and that is exercise. And there's a big thing on it about the news today, how far you can go out in your local area. Very simple, keep it local, but get out. Get that body moving, do some exercise, get some fresh air, okay? It's vitally important for your well-being, both mentally and physically. To get out, do at least half an hour if you can, every day, whether it's walking, cycling, running. And remember, and we've got to say this, that when you go at this moment in time, go on your own and keep within social distance that's allowed from other people. But get out there and exercise. It's vitally important.
And where you can walk out from your own home rather than drive. I was quite surprised on Sunday. I walked into Leamington Spa, and there was so much traffic. I wondered where everyone was going. I mean, there's only so much shopping, supermarket shopping, food shopping we can do. So I was surprised at that. So wherever you can walk out from your own home. I did drive this morning because I wanted to go for a run, but I think I drove about a mile and 2 miles. I wanted to go, so I drove today. But I'm trying not to use my car as much. But going back to exercise, I feel, is the medicine of the future. We really do need to move our bodies. You will have seen and heard me say this so many times, and I always write it in my articles. We were born to move. We weren't born to sit in front of a computer screen. So do please get out there every day. Go out every day, because at the moment that's one of life's pleasures. And we have got spring round the corner. You know, it's the 12th today. Once we get January out of the way and into February, I already can see the bulbs coming up. So I may have said that last week as well, Dominic. Sorry.
Yeah. And if the weather is really bad and you can't get out, you know, because the weather is so bad, then, you know, go onto YouTube. There are thousands of exercise videos on YouTube.
Oh, definitely.
Follow along, you know, so you can exercise. There's no excuse not to, if you're able to do so, you know, exercise, whether it's indoor or outdoors, ideally outdoors if the weather permitted, you know, because we need to get out of the house for that fresh air. And as long as we keep it safe and we follow all the rules and guidelines from the government. So get out there when you can and exercise. I can't emphasize that enough for your mental and physical well-being.
Great.
Okay, well, I think we're coming towards the end of this. So, is there any final comments you want to make, Elizabeth, before we sign off?
I think really, you know, look after yourselves, be kind to yourselves. And please do tune in. It'll be, I think, on Thursday. We are recording our new weight management program. You will be able to subscribe, of course, and we will be launching it online. So you'll be able to try it out for yourselves.
Yeah, that'll be on Friday. It'll be on YouTube on Friday.
Right, it's going to be on Friday. Great.
We're recording on Thursday with our 3 volunteers, talking on the internet via Zoom, and then it will be uploaded on Friday for you, the viewer, to watch. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. Please like the video, share it, and let as many people know as possible, because it's going to be an interesting journey watching our 3 volunteers as they get rid of their weight and their confidence improve within themselves. Yes,
we've got Francis and Jenna, and I've forgotten the name of the other volunteer.
Maya, M-A-Y-A.
Wow, okay. So Maya, Jenna and Francis will be with us, and you'll be able to watch their progress, and it's really exciting. I'm excited for them, but also I'm looking forward to being part of their journey to a healthy mind and body.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be live again next Tuesday, 7 o'clock UK time. So please do join in with us again next week. I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about then, but we'll have another interesting.
I'm sure we can waffle on about something, Dominic.
But until then, do remember, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, and we'll look forward to seeing you again live next week. until then, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Take care. Look after yourself.
Bye.